Alright, so today we're going to do some yoga on the guitar. And I brought all my markers because I'm going to show you the two ways to read guitar tablature. There's two different types, right? And we usually do the one with just the chords. So I'm going to run through that one really quick first. So I'm going to use to match the strings on my guitar. So the first one, the top string, is that pink string, right? That's called our low E string, right? It should sound like that.
Can't see it. Can't see it.
You can't see that?
Yep.
Okay, here, let's make it bigger. We'll do it like this. How's that?
That's better.
Yeah.
Okay, we got it. So it's pink, red-ish color. That's our top one. Okay. So I'm going to go around and get everyone in tune here. Let's see. I know no one's going to see this one, but we're going to do it in yellow anyway. Sorry. But the next one is our A string.
I see it.
I know. Unfortunately, because it's yellow, you can't see it on here. If we get like a black dry erase board, it'd be perfect. But, what should I do? Maybe I do this. Make it big and fat. Can you see if I did that? No? That didn't help at all, huh? Tiny bit? No.
Just HD.
What if you did like a
It's the chords. Like you know the chord chart. We're doing it based off of the strings. So all the different color strings. Alright, so that's our A. It's the imaginary. Okay, and next is our D string. Next, that's our G string. Alright, when you look at the strings, it makes it pretty clear to see, right?
Yeah.
Right? It's like no-brainer. It's not really green, is it? Alright, and then that's our B string. And then that's our high E. Alright, so that's all our strings. Alright, and then we're going to go through the frets. So first off, what we have on top is our nut, right? That's our nut. So that's the thing holding our strings in place, right? And then here is our first fret. And here's our second fret, our third fret, and our fourth fret. So everything between here is our first fret. Everything between here would be the second, third, and our fourth. And of course we have the rules. The X would just mean don't play that string. And of course the circle means play open. So that's that, right? So we're going to use this chart in a second to actually do, because I'm going to show you a variation of this. We've always done it where this is the nut, but that's not always true. And today we're going to change that. It's not going to be the nut today. All right, but then there is another type of guitar tablature, which is different. It's virtually the same. Like this is our E string. Here's the invisible A string that you can't see because it's in yellow. And our D string. The G. The B string. And finally our A string, or the E string on top. Okay, so this is the second form of guitar tablature. So now this one's different because it can show you chords, but it can also show you melodies. And we've used this before. Some people remember using this one, right? So I'm actually going to do this on both this one and this one. I'm going to do just the first position on this one, and the rest I'm going to all do in here. Alright, so the way this one works is the number, if I put a number here, let's say on this A string, I'm going to put the number 7. That just means we're going to play the 7th fret on the A string. But you can't really see that line, right? But you can imagine that it's there. Alright, so on our A string, we're going to play the 7th fret. But if we continue going down the line, let's say we go 5, right? That just shows you we're going in that order, right? So we're going to play that note, then that note. But if they're lined up on top of each other, that means we're playing them together at the same time. So let's say we did that here. We know that we're on the 7th fret of both the A and the D string, right? We're playing those two notes at the same time. Make sense? Alright, so we're going to do this 7, 8, 9, and 10. So this is our first, this is the first position, right? The first figure that we're going to do for our finger yoga. Alright, so finger yoga. So that means on here, let's say we're going to call this the 6th fret today. So this is our 6th fret, right? So it's not going to be the nut, because in some cases it'll say something like 6 there. I'll put like a 6 or a 5 to signify that this is not the nut, it's that fret. So that means that this fret would be the 7th fret. This is the 8th, the 9th, and the 10th. So this is our 6th fret. So what we're going to do, and remember our hand, here's our hand, right? So, oh boy, that's the worst pinky I ever drew. Okay, so our fingers are as such, right? And that's our thumb. So first finger is going to go here. So 1, 2, 3, and the pinky is going to go on the B string. So just like that. So, what's that?
6 is flat next to 1, 2, 3.
This is up the 6th fret. So 1 is on the 7th fret. Like this. So it's going to look like this. We're all the way up here. Right. This up here, anything that's up here in this area would be considered the 6th fret. This is the 7th fret.
7.
Right, that's the 7th fret here. Now with this, so this is our first position in our stance. It's not really that hard for anybody, right? And it's relatively simple. Right? Okay, so sounds lovely, doesn't it? You could play this in a jazz group, and I think you're amazing. So now the trick with all of these, with each pattern that we're going to do, that you want to take your time on each one. It's not like a speed drill or rushing or anything like that. You want to take your time, just like in yoga, when you go into a stretch, you want to hold that position for a while, take some breaths, right? You're getting oxygen to that area of the body. Same idea here. Now, as we're holding that position there, I have to let go because I'm going to write some stuff down here. But what we're going to do is you're going to move your first finger, you're going to hold all the other fingers in position. You're just going to move this finger to the 6th fret. So you're going to move that to there. And this one will go to 11. Right. So watch. Now, if it's too uncomfortable to move these two, you don't have to do it. So that's our first position. And then our second position is move this one down 1 fret, move your pinky up 1 fret. So this is a good stretch. we're holding this position. And if it's too hard, see, you're all the way on the 4th fret. You want to move up to the 7th fret. Well, you're on the 5th fret. See, that's the 5th fret. Yeah. Give yourself a break.
That's why. It wasn't that hard before.
Right.
So,
you could, if it's still uncomfortable for you, you can always move up to the 9th fret or the 10th fret and do the same thing, but just do it higher up on the neck. That way it's a less of a stretch the higher up you go. But you don't want to go too high up because then you don't get the benefits of the stretch. So we're starting here. And then we're going to move our first finger down to the 6th fret. And we're going to move our pinky up to the 11th fret. Yeah, that's good. That's what you want. Yeah. So now, what we're going to do, you can bring your fingers back to the first position. Bring back to that original position. Now what we're going to do is we're going to switch these out. So what we're going to do, we're going to put this one and this one in different positions. So we're going to move this one to here. So this is going to be here. And this one is going to be there. So we're basically just moving the 2 fingers in the middle over. Now you see why I did it in the different colors. Alright, that way it's a little less confusing that way. Alright, so, and that's our new position. So it's going to be like this. Very comfortable. So remember, we're holding this position for a little while. If it's getting uncomfortable, just hold it for a little bit longer and take a deep breath in. Breathe out. Now, we're going to do the same thing again, where we take this position and we're going to bring our first finger down to the 6th fret and our pinky up to the 11th fret. Now remember, you can skip that. If it's too hard to do that stretch, you can skip it. So some people find that stretch just a little bit too hard to do, so you don't have to do it if it's really uncomfortable. Alright, we're easing into all that. So it'll be 6, 9, 8, 11. That's our next figure. Who's finding this getting harder? Well, definitely, I want everyone to take note of this, right? Like, write this down, take it home, you know. And remember, I'm going to put asterisks over the ones that you can skip if it's uncomfortable for you. So, like here, this one you can skip, and this one you can skip, right? Because these two are a lot harder stretches, but they're very good, and it's always worth going for it. Even if you hold it for just a few seconds, and then go back to the original one. Here's what we're going to do now. He's gone, and he's gone. Back to trading places. Okay. So, we're going to now we're going to move our first finger here, and our 4th finger there. So now what we have here is going to be 10, 9, 8, 7. Okay. Alright, so now it's done, it's like a complete reversal. So we're here, right? And now we're going to switch it to here. So, first position, second position, right? Then we go to 3rd position. 4th position, and now we're going to go to 5th position, and now our 6th position. Can you imagine what that's going to be? It's going to be the same thing, except we're stretching out these. So I'm going to write that one down. So now, this is going to go to 11 here, alright, and this one's going to go to 6. And these are going to stay where they are. 8, 9. Alright? So I'll put an asterisk over this one too, because remember, you don't have to do this one. If doing this one's tough enough, you don't have to do that one. All right, remember, we're trying to keep it as comfortable for you as possible. Okay? Alright, so we are here now. You can do that, right? So, alright, so a little suggestion to ease yourself into the ones with the asterisks on them, right? Pick one finger to do first to get that extra stretch in. And once you're comfortable with like the first finger, then try doing the pinky by itself, right? And then after a while, once you're comfortable with that, then do it with both. And it should be a lot easier to make that stretch afterwards. So we're easing in one finger at a time, right? Usually the index finger will be first, and then we do the pinky second. It's pretty good though. Okay, so now, we're back on 10. Alright, and now what we're going to do is we're going to make one more adjustment here. We're going to go second finger and third finger. This is the best one. This is the big one. Alright, so that means you have 1, 2, 3, and 4, just like that. Now, I'll write it down here too. So we are 10, 8, 9, and 7. Okay. This last one is really tough. So, that's our last one. That's good. Well, that's good because all the chords we're going to do after this would be very easy to do. And yes, so part of the guitar playing, especially in the beginning, is that your wrist is not used to doing this, right? It's not used to bending all this and not being stretched out. I discovered that the second I found out how to hold the guitar correctly, that it hurt my wrist. Because I used to hold the guitar like this. And I'd learn all my chords like that. If you watch me play chords, I still have my thumb up here. My wrist is totally straight from the side, like, and that's actually improper technique. So once I learned to hold the guitar like this with my thumb back here, right, and my fingers out, one thing was my fingers could reach more this way instead of having my thumb up here. The other thing was that I found out that there's stretching going on in the wrist here. So it goes away, right? Especially doing this, because it works out your fingers, your wrist, it really gets in there and hones in to all the little things that your hands are not used to doing on the guitar yet. And these weird shapes, you'll probably never play them. Like outside of this warm-up, you'll probably never use these in any kind of music anywhere. So it's fabulous because it goes beyond what you normally encounter in guitar playing. Alright, so then the last one, the asterisk one, is going to be 11, 8, 9, and 6. Okay, and that's our don't have to do it if you can't. So we have,
and the fingers are like that, 1, 2, 3, 4.
right, so, right, it's the same things, this one goes here and this one goes there. So we have this, I'll show you. So this is our, and then we go, that's the final one. You don't have to do this one. Alright, so, now here's the thing about this thing, is I actually have, it's about an hour-long yoga exercise for the fingers that runs through this whole thing. And once we're finished running through this whole thing, then we go down a fret and run through the whole process again. Right? and then we go down another fret after we run through all 8 of these steps. Then we go down until we're all the way at the first fret, right? And I have to just kind of pretend when I do the extra stretching. But I don't suggest anybody here do that. If doing it on the 7th fret, between the 7th and 10th fret is too hard, you can move up to the 8th fret, to the 9th fret, and just do it there instead. All right, you can start all the way up there, or even the 10th fret. All right, it'll be a lot easier because the frets are close together. All right, I like this 7th fret here, and for me it's a good starting point because up here I get nothing out of this. I can go like 2 or 3 frets of a stretch when I get up to here. So, but you can move it higher up, so less stretching for you. It'll be a little easier to start off, and then see how far up the neck you can get before it becomes too hard. And then every day try to push it a little bit further. Push it a little bit further. All right, do like a little bit longer on the lower frets. All right.